As hello guys, today I'm gonna hold on. What's a good video idea? Hold on, let me get my dictionary of videos. Today we're gonna crash a few planes and probably recreate a few crashes. So let's start with TWA Flight 800. But first, we're gonna give it a bit of upgrades. You know what I mean. TWA Flight 400. Wait, no, that's not right. TWA Flight 800 goes roaring through the skies of New York as it departs JFK Airport. But a catastrophe would happen. The nose of your plane falls off from the aircraft, leading it to a steep dive into the ocean. More parts of the plane have been fallen or destroyed. The plane is now plummeting into the ground as the left wing breaks. There's no hope left for the passengers, and the plane is slowly plummeting into the ground. The plane then plummets into the ocean and crashes. No one survived the crash, and the wreckage was then found a few days later. Now we have a particular plane, one made before the Concorde, the Tupolev Tu-144, which had a lot of safety flaws in the past. The pilot told the crowd what they were going to see was going to be stunning, and he was right. Everyone there was going to see a horror of aviation during 1973. You can imagine the plane would keep the plane stable. But now, it was time for the plane to take off and end up into a deadly ending. The plane is now off to the air, but few damages have already been caused on the engines. This would lead to the wings being overstressed. But can the pilots of the Tu-144 that was on the airfield make this dangerous maneuver that would end up taking their lives? Let's find out. The plane is now making a steep bank in the air. Little did the pilots know they were not just going to die. They were going to kill a few other people on the ground. The plane, now banking, is now making a climb. But this was not a long climb, but a climb to death. The nose of the plane then detaches from the aircraft due to the overstressed engines. And then the wing is next. The overstressed wing then breaks. The plane is now plummeting into the ground. Now that the plane is doing a steep plummet into the ground, the victims were children, literal children, on ground that were affected by the impact. plane is now heading towards a neighborhood nearby, which would kill many people on ground. But I only struck a few buildings before I hit a field. But now, a more fateful crash is going to happen. Air McLaren Flight 82. The aircraft that exploded by a terrorist bombing. This happened during the late 70s to 80s, near a lake. Not the Hudson's Bay Lake, the one at the 757, not Air McLaren Flight 292, but 943 crashed. Plane then exploded by the terrorist bombing and is now heading for the ground. Plane hits a lake near a small town. No one survived the crash, and 4 people were killed on ground. But if that wasn't enough, then a more fatal crash was about to happen in France. The Concorde. It was a revolutionary aircraft at the time, but did much better than the Tupolev Tu-144 back then. But one day, in July 25th, 2000, a DC-10 had left debris on the runway, which the Concorde would then hit with its left gear, which would cause the tank to be ruptured and it to burn. The aircraft is now preparing for takeoff, but little do the passengers know they weren't gonna go to New York. Also, I won't be talking too much, so enjoy the video. The plane is now on fire, and the pilots have already gone airborne. Fortunately, it couldn't do anything, and unfortunately it crashed. All lives plus 4 people on ground were lost. And this led to Air France then suing Continental for this. The next crash would be from a Happy Air DC-9. This happened in a 1969 air show.
Welcome to Play On, where gaming moves fast, challenges it.
And we'll make it and the crash had disappeared. But a few blocks later, they had found it. The plane had sunken. The pilots had died. And unfortunately, nobody survived this crash. Now we have the AN-225 carrying a space shuttle. Now, the antenna of AN-225 was unfortunately destroyed in 2022 by Russian missiles in the Russian and Ukrainian war. This giant beast will be remembered. There's a day in 1989 in Omsk, Siberia. The plane then accelerates and is about to do a maneuver with the space shuttle mounted. As you can see, the pilots are struggling, and unfortunately, the plane crashed just seconds later due to a failed pull-up. They couldn't pull up, and they had already known. But still, this beast will be remembered as one of the best aircraft in aviation. Well, not one of them, but one of the beloved aircraft. Now, what do we have here? Another 747. Yes, you guessed it. We are crashing a blank Boeing 747-100 in a really good map. I'm not sure how we're gonna get this beast into the air, but we'll just try. We've already lost 2. Yeah, I can already tell this is not ending well. But not to worry, as we have another map coming. Alright, 747 will do a deadly maneuver to try to pull up without accelerating and going airborne. And luckily enough, look how we did it. But this wouldn't last long. And there's a deadly maneuver for acceleration. And let me tell you, ended up like the AN-225 or just the DC-9. Yup. Somehow hits the barrier. Slowly disintegrating. Alright, now it's just TWA Flight 800. But worst. Yup. That's just sad. Of course, the engine decides to break in the water. So unrealistic and physically illegal. Anyways, let's see who'll be the last one. The Airbus Beluga or the 757. You know what, let's go with both. We're also including Air Florida. I don't know how we're gonna recreate this one, but here goes the 757 on Air Flight 292. This glorious plane. Fortunately, it's being retired by 2030, I heard. And that hurt my feelings. What the? Oh god, this is not gonna end well. Yep, it's going to crash. Oh, that was so close. Let's try doing a barrel roll. It's confirmed. Another one. Also, I was just joking that I was not gonna talk for the rest of the video, but whatever. Okay, time to end this guy's reputation. Oh shit! Sound like Chris Griffin over there. Yep. That's how it ends. What the fuck? And now we are showing the beast of the skies. This marvelous beast is going into the air. And also, I'm not sure how we're going to put this shit in the air. I can't say that yet. Sorry about that. YouTube, please don't demonetize me over. I'm a family friendly channel, so sorry for swearing. To be honest, when I crash this thing, what do you think? Even if the viewers have known, still do it. Here goes nothing. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here I come. Yeah, so, it's naked now. Damn it. Anyways, we have this little rodent here. That was made 2 years ago, but we can still crash it. It also has a like, so how about you like and subscribe? So you follow what this says. Anyways, time to crash. Bye bye, little plane. Also, that purple and white aircraft you just saw is an experimental A380. Speaking of that, it's gonna be our second last plane and then one of our main last planes that we will crash and then end the video. 'Cause this is